level is very easy. The tough part is getting them to understand the commitment that they need.
Sure.
Not all, they're still young. They're 17-year-old kids, and they, I guess sometimes, not that they take things for granted, but they truly don't know the dedication you need to have every day, of what its expectations are going to be.
Forwards coming out strong. Okay, opposite line, you're back checking. We have one back checking. Make sure your communication level with the defenseman.
Right now, we practice, roughly 4 days a week. We're on the ice for about an hour and 20 minutes per day, during the season. Pre-season, we had a camp that we do, a conditioning camp that we do for the week before we start our normal practices, where, we're on the ice for a little bit longer than that. And then in addition to that, our players are required 2 days a week to have regular workouts. We utilize a local gym in the area. This is the first year that actually I've kind of implemented our players to do spin class and Pilates and yoga's class, as well as the regular workouts. So it's a rigorous schedule. I mean, it's a demanding schedule. They're trying to balance their academics. They're trying to balance some work, part-time work as well. So kids really need to utilize, their time very well, and, to give them the best opportunities.
Which is a good discipline to teach them.
It's great. I mean, time management, I think, as we all know, is everything in today's world. You have, your parents that you have to take care of your young kids, and you have to balance your job. It's really, really important to have time management skills.
If you are playing teams from New York, New Jersey, Maine, that must mean that you're on the road quite a bit.
We travel, and what our league does very well is kind of, I guess, consolidate our travel. We take about 7 trips this year, which over the long run, it's not too bad, and they're spread out, so it doesn't come all at once. We do league showcases where, we'll all go to a neutral site, and teams will kind of all travel there, and we'll play different teams there as well. So the travel isn't that bad. There's definitely travel. A couple weekends ago, we had to travel up to Maine for the weekend, and 2 weeks before that, we were in New Jersey. But it's part of the experience as well.
Sure.
At the college/professional level, there's a lot of travel. This weekend is a very important weekend for us to get our momentum back, okay, to kind of put the stamp on the second part of the season. We have 12 weeks left of the season thereabouts. It's going to go very quickly, okay? You start looking around the locker room, this team's not going to be together any other time, for these next 12 weeks. So we need to enjoy every opportunity we have together, and it's going to be a heck of a lot sweeter if we put some W's together. Okay, so we go up there with a purpose this weekend. It's going to be a fun environment. It's going to be an exciting environment. We go up there and we have no regrets, and we enjoy the bus ride back on Sunday afternoon. Okay?
Let's talk about money. What does it cost a kid to play hockey?
For a junior player, for a youth player?
Well, I'm going to ask you both, so you can start wherever you'd like.
Well, I mean, as you get older, your costs are going to change. We do as an organization, we base everything primarily on cost. Obviously there's different things that you need to add in there. There's bus travel, there's hotel travel. So from our junior program, what we do is an all package. Your price, roughly around $7,000 for the year, will give you all your equipment, it gives you all your travel, it gives you your hotels, your buses, and it also covers all the ice cost as well.
How do you do all of that on such little money?
It is little money, and we're not the junior organizations. It's not very profitable, I guess you can say, from a business standpoint. Sure. And not everyone does know that. I do this because I love coaching hockey, and our organization runs our junior program, because it helps, supplement the income to the rink as well. To keep these lights on in the rink are very, very expensive. And it's, so it can definitely be challenging, but it's what we do.
Let's go down a level to kids who are starting out playing hockey. It's expensive, the cost of uniforms and skates and sticks and ice time and so forth and so on. People would argue that hockey is expensive, or at least that's the public perception. Combine that with the geographic restriction, so to speak. You need ice or you need ice time. So how does hockey remain competitive with other sports?
I think the love that the kids have for it, is probably the biggest reason. For us, and I run 17 teams altogether, including our junior program. We have a youth organization called the PhD Junior Elites, which I field 6 teams, and then I have half-season midget teams, kids preparing for their high school seasons. So the cost is something that's very tricky. And it's been very challenging, I think, in this economic time, because we're more of a want as opposed to a need. So some kids, aren't able to do it, as well right now. But I think it's tough, because there are a lot of costs, again, that go with it. So it's really the passion that the kids have, I think, will continue to drive, hockey.
What is the impact of juniors hockey on high school programs and then ultimately college programs?
On high school, there has been an impact. Juniors in this area, again, have gotten a lot bigger in terms of, more teams. There's more leagues that are in the area now. So it has had an impact on high school hockey. The numbers have been a little, dropped off. Talent level has dropped off a little bit. You're always going to have your strong high school hockey players or in your strong high school hockey organizations. Me personally, I don't like to recruit a lot of high school kids, that aren't in a good, or that if they're in a good high school organization, I'll tend to kind of stay away from them, because I coached high school for 5 years, and it didn't kill me when coaches were recruiting our players, but everyone has their own path, and some kids need to stay at high school for 4 years. Some kids can leave after their sophomore or junior years and be, battle ready for junior hockey.
Let me ask you, the kids come from far away. They drive a couple hours, some of them, I think, to come to daily practices, and then they're on the road with you. So they really are very driven. Tell us a little bit about some of your players.
Some of our current players now, we have players that, that live in Ringe, New Hampshire, that travel. We have players that live in Fitchburg. We have players that live locally in Dracut. So we have a lot of kids, on this year's team that, they are driven. They're really, really good kids. They really just, I think, took to each other this year. The chemistry in the locker room, the chemistry on the ice. They're enjoying showing up to the rink every day, and that's the most important thing, because if they don't enjoy showing up to the rink and having a passion to play hockey and be around each other, because it's their family for 7 months. They're with them 6 days a week. If we don't create that environment for that enjoyment, it can be a very long year. But the kids that we have this year, I look to our captains, Jeff Hall, who's locally from Dracut, Zach Lubinsky, who's from Hudson, New Hampshire, and he's a returning player with me, and John Michael Leach from Reading, to really setting a good tone of the chemistry that we need in the locker room. because as the team has success, our individuals will have success.
Well, take us to the locker room, and you're down 8-1. Well, never will happen, tell me. But
Hasn't happened this year, but it could.
It could.
It could.
What do you tell the kids? How do you motivate them? How do you inspire them to go out into the next period and chip away at that deficit?
It's all in the moment. It's different. You know, if I come into the locker room and, you know, I can